Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to analyze poetry, and I've got one of my favorites up here, Joshua Bennett's poem, Balaenoptera, and it's about how much he loves his wife. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and find how he talks about her. We're going to fill out this sentence here. In the poem, Balaenoptera, Joshua Bennett uses two things to craft a loving tone towards his wife. Now I'm going to go ahead and link to the video in the description so you can go ahead and watch. I have the lyrics right here so we can see them. And a few things that we're going to focus on, we're going to get right into marking up this text. So he's talking about when we're old, hair the color of tombstones, that's gray. Sound like wet windshield wipers, he's talking about his old bones. And what we want to get down to right here is when he starts describing her. Makes the wrinkles at the corner of your eyes look like 6 willow branches, all lifting their heads in prayer. And I'll go ahead and maybe draw some drooping willow branches so I know what that looks like. And we want to come down here. This is what I want to focus on right here. When all those well-dressed jackals came galloping to your door, begging for the rights to your ring finger. Now, obviously, we know that's marriage. That's what goes on the ring finger, is the ring. What made you lock the deadbolt on your ribs, looking them squarely in the face and saying with joy, I'm saving all this beauty for a man I've never even met. Now, if you're familiar with ancient Egyptian mythology, you know that jackals, kind of the half-man, half-jackal thing-looking beast, jackals are, in fact, scavengers. So scavengers are not known for their hunting prowess. They don't go out and get these things themselves. Jackals are scavengers, which really means they are looking for leftovers. So now we're talking about this in the context of love. And the deadbolt on the ribs, because the rib cage protects the heart. So what made you lock the deadbolt on your ribs, protecting your heart from scavengers, people looking for leftovers, saying, I'm saving all this beauty for a man I've never even met. Very powerful image there in the way that he paints that. Then we're going to go up here to the second column. And I want to go to this hyperbolic imagery here. Hoping that Father Time would give us a hall pass and allow us to orbit one another forever. So we've got an image of time. And then down here it says, ask God if I could borrow the breeze, blow the shoreline of every beach into a giant hourglass. We'll put some sand here. This is how long I will adore the things about you no one even notices. Again, this is time. Like your laugh and how it sounds like a mix of Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock and 2 rainstorms singing perfectly in tune. And you can find Jimi Hendrix playing the national anthem at Woodstock, several places on the internet. The orthopedic shoes, they match your cardigans, crooked glasses, and how they dangle like the legs of 2 lovers on a tire swing the last summer they will ever see each other's face. So we've got a few more. If there were a gorgeous Olympics, you would be a lock. Now, obviously that means, oh, they're destined to win first place. But then he changes the meaning of the word lock. Maybe I would be your key. So we have a key. And then he says, we haven't stopped dancing for all these years because we really like the music in here. And then he comes back to finish up with the whale heart that he mentioned in the beginning. He says, the biggest heartbeat God ever made, and now it's all yours. So this is all in order to give honor to his wife. So we're looking at this imagery. We have images of the heart. We have images of time. We have images of natural beauty, rainstorms, willow branches. We have hyperbolic imagery of existing outside of time, giving you the largest heart God ever made. So we're going to move over to the document, and I encourage you once again to scroll down the description. I'll have the link to the video. We're going to go ahead and look at the document, and it says, in the poem Balaenoptera, Joshua Bennett uses blank and blank to craft a loving tone toward his wife. And I'm going to mark this up here in just a second. we'll use the color blue. So remember, when we're labeling these things, these literary elements, these rhetorical devices, we want to use an adjective and the label itself. And that's really going to amplify our prose, what we're talking about. It's going to make us look like a stronger, smarter, better writer. So in the poem Balaenoptera, Joshua Bennett uses blank and blank to craft a loving tone towards his wife. So what I'm going to use here is hyperbolic imagery, and we'll say not necessarily protective metaphors, but we'll say powerful metaphors. So in the poem Balaenoptera, Joshua Bennett uses hyperbolic imagery and powerful metaphors to craft a loving tone towards his wife. And so when I expand on this, when I'm going to write about it, this is where I'm going to talk about existing outside of time. This is where I'm going to talk about blowing all of the sand into an hourglass that drips down. And then the powerful metaphors is really where I'm going to come in with the deadbolt on your ribs, locking that deadbolt on your ribs, talking about those well-dressed jackals and how they're scavenging for her heart, and she is not just leftovers. So notice how this adjective portion here is really going to amplify what we're talking about. Instead of just saying he uses imagery, well, duh, it's poetry. We expect that. When you say hyperbolic imagery, then you're setting the stage. It makes it a lot easier for you to write about it, because in your connection part of your paragraph, you're going to say, this is what makes it hyperbole. When you're talking about powerful metaphors, then you're going to talk about how closely we guard the heart, how much we don't want to be hurt by others. So the adjective in your label, which would be in your thesis portion of your essay, if we were to write this all the way out, that's going to set you up for a strong connection, which is why we really want to focus on labeling our labels. So we know that it's imagery, we know that it's metaphor, but when you add these punchy adjectives, it really steps it up a notch. So I hope this video helps you guys, and again, be sure to check the descriptions so that you can link to the file of the lyrics and also the video itself. Thanks for watching.